In this video, I'd like to talk about a trend online that's grown over the last decade or so, with guys especially, which is this trend of giving up. Giving up on your dreams, your goals, your life in general, companionship with somebody, friendships, or anything really that's always meant something to you. And I understand why men walk away from society, from women, jobs, the whole lot. I get it. You keep doing things in good faith and you keep getting humiliated by certain groups or people or individuals, and you think, well, I don't want to experience this anymore. And I don't have to either. I'm done. One thinks it's either I will get up again for another punch in the face, or I'll just stay down here on the ground until all you f***ers just leave me because I'm not playing your game anymore. So just leave me alone. It's a strategy of ghosting society and everyone because trying has unfortunately become synonymous with failing to many people who keep repeating the same approach and getting the same results. And there's only so much humiliation a man can take, I guess, if he feels he's doing it the right way or the only way he knows how. He needs whatever's left in his tank for himself and stops trying for the things outside of him. And I understand why men unplug and ghost. I've done it a few times in my life when I've said, I'm leaving. Screw this, don't need it. So I understand the feeling of I'm out. But what I can't understand, however, is staying out. I cannot understand switching off the world when one walks away into their own personal cave. Or a more apt analogy would be they dig a hole and hide away from society. And these holes feel comfortable to you as you see men or women, society, and all the noise and chaos above you. And you think to yourself, you know what, you guys can have it up there. You can have the world. I don't want any part of it. Okay, so now you refuse to play. So now what? There's an old saying in men's circles online, a piece of poetic wisdom that goes, the only way to win is not to play. And many guys say this as a mic drop moment, as though it checkmates every situation you throw it on. Okay then, don't play. But what do you win exactly? Really? What? And they'll say to me,
well, you win peace and quiet, human. That's what we finally win.
Okay, notwithstanding the fact that you always had peace and quiet, had you had the courage to say no to cheeky poo or your horrible bosses or overbearing parents. Never mind that. But say I agree with you for a moment. You say, screw the world, and you lock the doors to life around you, to the whole ecosystem around you of the world. And after you have your cave, tranquility in place, what then? What do you do in your empty room with no new input besides your own thoughts and repetitive biases and, my hand's getting tired. Many dogmatic guys out there sound like they're repeating the commandments of their dude bro groups, regurgitating their one-liners word for word, like a bird regurgitating its food, throwing it back up and then eating it again. How about some new food? Even on a familiar topic, how about some new perspective? How about speaking about a familiar topic in real time with your words and thoughts now, not the group's words, not the mic drops, but your words, with your actual lessons that you've learned from your past, your empirical experience. How about that? You, instead of plucking phrases that get validation from others, ask yourself, what refreshes your experience now? What makes you curious? What unanswered questions still bug you? Are you optimistic? Are you inspired? Or are you just negative? Are you frustrated? Or have you demoralized yourself with repetitive sloganeering, within your group of why I can't turn left because men aren't allowed, and why I can't turn right because men aren't allowed. Well, allow me to retort. Point to a law that states that you cannot speak your mind, gentlemen, civilly, maturely, eloquently, and intelligently about anything you wish or believe in. Tell me why you're not allowed to articulate yourself besides fear. Is there any courage and imagination left in you, or are all the answers for you all rulers and numbers measuring nothing? So, what concerns me, what really bugs me most about men digging holes to escape the chaos and unfair stress expected of them from a cruel society, and it's not about women and relationships, let's leave that aside. It's the leaving of your life itself, ghosting your life and leaving it behind, and sitting in a corner just to be left alone. Just to be left alone. And I hate to see someone surrender like that, because I can see myself in a lot of these spurgy memes in the comment section and guys reacting out of fear but pretending to be strong. You know why? It's because I feel like you let them win. It's like you admit that you're dumb or incompetent or they're better than you, or you're simply incurious enough to allow others just to have your world. And yes, in a way, I've always seen this life as mine, not theirs, mine in a philosophical sense. And I feel like they're taking my portion of things away when they convince me to put their velvet shackles on because, it's just easier to opt out and let them have the stage. No, if I'm going to walk away, I'll walk away to something better, to a life of more color than their gray, unenlightened existence, to something more meaningful, to a better view, to better stories, to more depth. Speaking of views, even if I understand myself being knocked down, say, I put myself in that situation, I find it a kind of embarrassing inertia, a betrayal to myself to stay on the ground, defeated, being a victim, looking for attention, a pat on the head from mummy, if you will, figuratively speaking. I can be pissed off, sure, when someone does me wrong. I can spurg out, but I cannot imagine myself staying on the ground pouting like some little toddler. Look, if you respect your father, he would not respect you in this moment on the ground. Think about that. And this is what I see with all the complaining about,
The system is against me.
yes, okay, there is a big media and political effort to promote women while shutting down men. But it's all politics. Care less about the politics and your life will improve, guys. I mean, genuinely, focus on yourself. Look in the mirror, be honest and work out your problems and call a spade a spade. And remember, the world has always been unfair, to coin a cliche. And it never cared about men anyway. It's just that because women are now out there in the world where men used to be the monopoly, they're taking up more of the public space and workplaces, and their voices are everywhere because they're more afraid than us. They need much more security, and they're protected more now. It seems like this new world is insulting to us, but it's nothing new. We just turned up the protective dial for concern over women because they're out here in the world with us now more. A man has always been alone, always. That's what we are largely. But, and this is what I don't like, too many guys are buying into acting like victims, like women, and all their multicolored friends out there looking for a bouquet of flowers to be handed to them just because we feel we're special and we want a hug and we want to be loved and we want friends and we don't want to be alone, but we don't want to admit it. Well, we're not special and neither is anyone else. It's okay. And I'm not being negative here. I'm trying to tell you you're free because no one cares. I'll say that again. You're free, guys, because no one cares. If you decide to be autonomous and liberated instead of shackled, understand that because no one cares, No one cares means that you're free to go, do, and be whatever you're capable of doing and being. But that requires effort, which most insecure women and men won't do. Most people out there just shame, gaslight, and use each other to get what they want from each other. If looked at from another perspective, let the politics and media focus on women, which means that you're not in the crosshairs anymore. Get it? Put another way, you're more free to do as you wish. But men aren't doing anything. That's what bugs me. Again, I don't care, it's not my life. But sometimes I see small versions of my younger self in these guys that are just not looking in the right direction because no one's saying things like this. But that's my beef here with all the complaining. I'm used to it from women, the complaining machines. But guys, a lot of the manosphere resembles a toddler in a crib clutching their teddy bear. And the teddy bear is called Why Men Are Treated Bad and How Women Are Stupid and Mean. I understand the past hurt. I do. I've had cruel bitches squash out my heart like a used cigarette, but I've also had nice women. Perspectives, ladies and gentlemen. Perspective. On a related note, I listened to a recent video posthumously uploaded on Spetsnaz's channel, and while listening to his video, I realized quickly that he was still fighting the good fight while he was alive, had the will and spirit to click the uncomfortable things in place and get up again and again until he made sense of it, or as close as he could to making sense of it. Unlike many who have been defeated and they only feel alive at the coward's words of, why try, the system is rigged. No, Spetsnaz never told us to give up. He advocated, in my opinion, trying. He was always fighting, but in the world, in the street, with a beer in his hand, not in the comments drinking soda. I see this giving up and ghosting society with van lifers. Take a look at some of their videos on YouTube, the van lifers. They go off thinking they'll be living off the grid with this romantic existence on the road, having all these adventures. Watch some of their videos, especially the naive women. At the first stormy night and the first philosophical realization that you're alone in this vast universe and survival is at stake, they need a therapist. They get hit in the face by reality and quickly discover that they can't stay on a romantic avoidant holiday as a way of avoiding the problems in their lives. In a way, ghosting society is ghosting yourself while humming to a tune. Well, until the music stops, I guess. Okay, in closing, I would say sure, walk away from people and situations that use and abuse you, but for Christ's sake, keep going, man. Keep moving forward in your life, physically and mentally. If there would be one thing to keep an eye on in your life so you don't go off course or stale and rot, it's this. You ready for my soundbite of wisdom? Stay curious. Stay curious. Why? Well, that way you're less likely to be angry if you're curious. In fact, it's almost impossible to be. And you're constantly refreshing yourself and you remain humble and open and not protecting some inner juvenile dogma. Really, pay attention. Are you confusing comfortable circular talking points in a group online of well-meaning and good dudes? Are you giving each other figurative back massages, parroting the same soothing memes for years and years on end? Or should you be, maybe, having new and refreshing conversations to keep yourself fit and sharp? Look, every living organism's prime directive is to survive, so try and act like a basic f***ing organism at least, guys. And if my words today trigger you, well, you shouldn't be watching my videos. I'm more about open conversation and a kind of sympathetic tough love as a way to solve your problems and try and be a bit happier, not avoiding things, and to figure this stuff out a little bit more clearly without the victimhood out there that's so popular, but gets us absolutely nowhere and makes the world an unbearable place to be and a lonely place to be. So don't give up, think better, act better with an emphasis on act. But at the end of the day, as I always say, do what you want, it's your life. Hope you got something out of that video. All the best. Later.